Hey guys, Chad here. It's been a while since I made a video. I've been actually working on the Camaro. So I wanted to actually see if for $3,000 or less, I can make 600 wheel horsepower from my 6th gen Camaro. So the Camaro is 2018 SS 1LE. Pretty much was all stock. I had a cold air intake on it. That's about it. So I wanted more power. I don't feel like it has enough power. Obviously, seems a little underrated. So I figure, how much horsepower can I make NA from the car? So thinking around 600 to the wheels. I am a technician for a living, so obviously I am doing all the work myself. So I figured the recipe for that obviously is going to be better flowing heads, bigger cam, be able to get the motor to flow better air-wise. So I am going to port and polish my heads myself. I have ported my intake manifold, and I also ported and polished my throttle body. Now I am sticking with the stock throttle body for the moment, because maybe later on down the road I do want to run nitrous, maybe run 100 shot, 150 at the most. So I'm going to do the plate system. Well, it's only 90 millimeter, the plate. So if I step up to a 95 millimeter throttle body, I will not be able to use the plate, which, depending on how much I do make at the wheels, maybe I'll switch to the 95 millimeter if I feel like I am being restricted air-wise there, and then I'll do maybe a port injection. Direct port injection. So I'm going to show you the car, what's done to it at the moment. So here's the car currently. I have it tore apart, got the heads off. I started porting and polishing them. I went and bought Speed Engineering 2-inch long tube headers, which surprisingly, the quality of them I believe is really good. Like, the welds are really good on them. They seem to fit down in there. I don't know, once they're bolted to the head, how good fitment is. But the welds seem really well. Even inside the flange, the exhaust flange, if you can see, the welds are really great. There's nothing sticking out, like protruding. No sharp edges on them. Actually look really good. So what I did with my heads, I actually took a stock gasket, and these 2-inch primaries are exactly the opening size of the gasket. So I port matched my heads, which I will show you is a big difference. Like, the opening on the exhaust side was really, really small, which surprised me a lot. So I will show you them. I still have to get the crankshaft pulley off, tear the camshaft out, put a new cam in it. So I am going with a custom grid cam from TSP. So I'm going to go with the TSP cam kit. I am going to do the 16 LS7 lifters. I am going to upgrade to the LT4 head gaskets, which I believe, unless you're running a crap load of boost, they'll be fine. The stock ones would be fine, actually, for an NA. And then I'm going to use the GM head bolts, the factory ones, the torque the yield ones. So the kit from TSP, the way I have set up, I will actually post at the end of this video, like all the parts and everything I use. It's like around $1,700 and like $15 or something like that. I do want to touch base on some things. This radiator and AC condenser sucked ass to get out. Also, I've heard horror stories about people running long tubes in their wiring harness mounting. So if you guys can find this, where I work, we use this. I convert vehicles run on natural gas, and we use this to put over the CNG lines when they're anywhere near heat. So what I did is I split this open, as you can see. I cut a piece long enough to run the whole length of that wiring, and then I wrapped it around it, overlapped it, and then zip tied it. That should give me all the protection I need from the exhaust header right there. And I'm also, the piece I have cut here, I'm going to use back there on that little piece of wiring in the back just to protect it. So this is my game plan. I did get the speed engineering exhaust kit that goes back. I do have the NPP exhaust, which I'll be keeping the stock, so if it's obnoxiously loud, I can quiet it down. I am not running headers on this. I mean, not headers, my bad. I am not running catalytic converters on it. I will be tuning my car myself, which saves me money on that. So, if you look, there's some of my exhaust laying down here on the ground. So, I got some of it hung up back there. Now, the stock clamps that comes with the speed engineering exhaust do suck ass. I do advise you to get better clamps. I'm going to use the lap clamps. So what they'll do, they'll lap over this part and over the other part that would connect to it, make a way better seal. Now, my car being a 1LE has a a drive shaft tunnel cross brace, like a support brace right there. I don't know if you can see it. It will not work with this exhaust system, so I will have to remove that, which sucks because that does stiffen up the car. So I'm going to see if I can get longer bolts for it. See if I can get longer bolts for it, and I get spacers, aluminum spacers, and drop it down enough so I can use it to keep the car stiff and clear the exhaust running through it. Alright guys, here's my intake manifold that I actually ported. Now I did something different. Instead of just opening everything up, I actually went through and I cut these ports out. So there was like support beams that ran down through the intake, which were pretty wide. They were about that wide and about that round, which would restrict a lot of airflow going through there. And I could honestly not see the rear air, like not air, but the rear runners. So now, I don't know if you can see, it's hard, I don't want to focus too well. I cut all them out. So now I can pretty much put my arm in there a good bit now. So hopefully this will free up a lot of air going back to the rear intake runners. So as you can see, I hacked them out. Used plastic weld. I used real thin aluminum to cover the holes, and then plastic welded it. Should hold up. I mean, it's rock hard. I can stand on it and it won't budge or collapse. So I'm hoping that there will let the air flow, because I've read that the plus you'll never see it on the car. Plus you'll have the engine cover on or whatever. That's the bottom side of it. But I read the ported stock intake manifold actually gives more torque than the MSD, but the MSD gives you a little more top end horsepower. But I am going to track the car. It is 1LE, so I do want the bottom end torque. So we will see if this works, and we will see how much power it gives me. It's either going to be hit or miss. I haven't seen nobody cut them out yet, so I guess we will see. Here I've been doing my heads myself. I've been opening them up. I'm actually just rough cutting them now to get them open up to where I want them to be. Then I'll go through with the sandpaper, porting ends, sand it down, and keep dropping it down until I get it really smooth. And then I might go in there and try to polish it. Now, I'm doing this by hand, so it's not the greatest, you know, it's not like a CNC machine did it. But my exhaust ports, I have opened up dramatically. So I will post a picture of how small the port was in relation with the actual gasket. And I opened it all the way up to the gasket. So like I said, this is just rough cut. I went in, removed the material with a burr bit. I got a bunch of different ones. And then I'll go in and I'll use the sandpaper ends to clean it up real nice and then smooth it. So my parts that I'm adding is going to be E85. So yes, I am using the E85 conversion kit. It's just like the sensor and the wiring. So you'll have to go in and tune the tune for that, the car. So I'll be doing the E85 kit. Now, on the 1LE Camaros, everybody says they do have an LT4 fuel pump in the tank. So hopefully I won't have a fueling issue being NA in the range I want. So I'll be doing heads, which is important, cam, valve train, E85, the intake manifold that I ported, my intake throttle body that I ported and polished, the 2-inch primary long tube headers, cat delete, exhaust all the way back to my NPP, and then I will tune the car. I believe I can get 600 to the wheels. The car is a 6-speed manual, so it has less parasitic loss than an automatic. So this is part 1. This is just showing you guys what I'm doing. Part 2, I'll have some more done to the car. Probably do some on the heads when they're done. Yes, but right now, all of the parts have come to under $3,000. So, yeah, not bad. 600 wheel horsepower, hopefully. So if you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Also, the more likes I get, the more easier this video shares around the internet. Maybe help some people out. If you want me to make a video on anything that I'm doing to the car, leave in the comments. Please subscribe, follow me for more to come. Have a good day.